Hey everyone, Temporal here, and for this session we are reviewing a Masters BAP. This is about 3800. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, as that helps out quite a bit, and I really do appreciate it. Or if you are looking to get coaching yourself, you can join my Discord in the description below, see what rates look like, see what sort of promos, special events we have, all that good stuff. Okay, well that didn't take long. So, here you are. Who was that for? Was that because you expected to take damage? Because when you popped that shift, you hadn't taken any damage. And your mercy is attached to you. So, like, wasn't going to be that big a deal to get healed back up. Are you thinking, oh, well, I'm tight with my team and they're going to take damage, so they need the shift for the rotation? Not really. You guys aren't getting spammed all that hard. And it's pretty obvious you're not getting spammed all that hard. So, we'd have preferred to hold this shift. Shift is not that great for healing your teammates. It can be okay to use in rotation while healing your teammates. I wouldn't have recommended it here. The incoming spam just isn't hard enough. It's much better for healing yourself, and you didn't use that deal yourself. And the reason for that is you double the amount it heals. It heals you for twice as much as it heals your teammates, and it's a big deal when it's healing you. It's kind of meh for your teammates. Yeah, and as you can see, your AoE healing from your right clicks totally more than fine for what you had for this. Your shift basically healed you a few HP that Mercy would have been happy to grab. Get in here. I mean, that's mechanical. You're trying Reinhardt. You sent that one too far left, and because you sent that one too far left, you're going to panic and lamp. I think he's fine. Wow, why is he out there? Why did you go out here, Zarya? Do this. You're out here to reload. Why are you peeking again? Oh, and you even hurt yourself with your right click. Oof. See, I just wouldn't even have expected that if Zarya was peeking with less than 200 HP, like, I just would expect that Zarya has her bubble available. But no, clearly not. Okay, we'll do the lamp. I don't love it, but it's fine. Jibs Daily says, I'm going to get Baptiste's gold weapon skin with your end of season points next week. This means that from then on, I will be a Baptiste expert. Yeah, that's exactly how it works, right? Right? Of course, it's BAP shift. Same advice you give Silvers. Well, if the Masters players would stop making the same mistakes as Silver players, there we go. Ooh. Sure. You're just done. Just leave. Yeah. No. Like, I don't care if you get eliminated. Your teammate just got eliminated. You're only going to get staggered by 2 or 3 seconds if you get eliminated. That's better than spending your lamp right now. If you can get out without spending your lamp, so be it. But now your team is all alive and potentially ready to push again, and you don't have lamp. And you might be thinking, no, my team isn't really ready to push. It's going to take them another 4 or 5 seconds. Okay, well, your lamp will still be 8 seconds from being ready at that point. But also, at this point, you might be willing to use your lamp to stop someone from getting picked off, eliminated, etc., and it would have value. But you can't because you used it when all it would have done is prevent a 2-second stagger. Not great. Thank you, Adam. Thank you. I have lots of previous players that are an owl or have been an owl. Both. That's not really new. I mean, Dreamer went to owl. Dan's went to owl. Yeah, like we've seen lots of players go to owl. And yeah, that's generally how it works. Everyone dumps everyone in the contender scene because you don't get promoted to owl as a team. That's not really a thing. So you go to the next team that makes sense. Remove Baptiste. Yeah, previous for a reason. They got rid of you and became stars. Sure. Sure, let's go with that.
Let them up.
Okay, so let's back up just a little bit here. Here you are, you're doing this. You can play cart, you want to play here instead, fine. That's just like mechanical failure again there. If you were gonna pop up there, actually get up there. Don't just break the railing. If you're not gonna pop up there, oh my goodness. Oh boy. This shift is still not good. It's over, just frag. More like battle rocket boots? Yeah. I think Temporal's ex-players probably love and respect Temporal. Love might be a strong word, but respect is there, yeah. And thank you for his coaching. So he coached people into pro is what you're saying. That's exactly what he's saying, but he forgets how to construct his insults sometimes. That's okay. James says, I haven't gone to Al yet. Emphasis on yet, but watch this space. That's all I'm saying. Okay, okay. Third review on Rialto in 2 days. Yep, we've had some of that. Go. He's like a player's college or high school coach. Okay. More like AAA. That's probably the equivalent. They're not the coach anymore, but they'll always be their coach. Oh, okay. In that sense. Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. More like battle rocket boots. Should have a Greek godskin to match Mercy Summer Games one. Wing sandals that flap when he's in the air. That could be fun. So here you are, you're pushing out here. I don't really know why you're pushing out here. I don't really know why your team pushed out here yet. Like, you guys are responding.
All better. Now.
Are we just staggering? Is this just going to be a stagger fest? Okay, you've got that.
Regen burst activated.
I mean, you have to line of sight better. Like, you have to. You have to line of sight with the planter better. You know that the threat's over here. Why did you back up this far? You needed to, like, tug tighter on this. Okay, whatever.
This will only hurt.
Enemy turret ahead.
I have taken
Enemy to... Uncanny attitude positive là. Let me show you how it's done. How about a little extra here?
You should be at fire at will.
Why are you here? Like, you're doing this. I'm good with this. Zarya's got her off angle, so you can't help her, and this is your spot. This is your spot, right here. Why are you here? You don't need to get closer to the cart to go push it. Like, that's not a thing that you need to do. Reinhardt's going to push the cart if there aren't any enemies on it. You want to stay back here where you can hide behind the planter and not get hit by Hanzos. Like, didn't we learn our lesson? We want to be here where we can shoot, we can contribute left clicks into the fight, we can contribute right clicks onto our Reinhardt. If our Reinhardt goes to the other side of the cart for some reason, we'll pop up on top of this as best we can and heal him. But, like, there's no situation where we just walk forward and hang out here, nor do we have any need to get closer to the cart. Why are you here? What is this doing for you? Why are you here? There's nothing good for you here. Here. You don't really want to go over here, but you could. If you were winning harder, you could go up here. If you were winning harder, you could go here or here, but you're not. You're not winning harder. So this is your spot, not this. Okay. What's wrong with trying to solo the enemy team? This form save happens at the entrance, be able to do it. And then you push up. Oh my goodness, you did it! Why? Why? So the reason that you're pulling yourself up here is now revealing itself to be that you believe your shift is this great and powerful force to be used for healing your front line. It's not. It heals them for 75 HP. You direct right click heals them for 70, and it pulls you way out of position. It makes it harder to aim your shots. It makes it so that adjustments as you get closer, adjustments between the friendly that you want to shoot and the enemy that you want to shoot become further apart. It makes it so that you're more likely to have enemies and friends around you that you don't see need your help, that sort of thing. We do not want to get pulled in to use our shift. The only time we're really interested in shifting to help our friends out is when we're like rotating with them and the whole team's getting spammed, which there's no reason to be rotating with your team right now. That's like a we're rotating through a spot and we need Rein Shield to do it type thing. Or very occasionally you'll do it for your partner support. Like if you're running a BAP plus Zen type thing where you're going super poke heavy with your comp, you might do it to help peel for them specifically, but it's not amazing. Mostly your shift is for you. Mostly your shift is for you. You didn't need this shift. You're up here where you're missing a little bit of health. I don't care. You're up here. You put yourself in more danger. Now shifting might seem like a good idea, but that's because you put yourself in more danger not to accomplish anything. Temporal hates louder and hates answering my questions. I mean, I like to get a little bit of a review done before going too wild with chat.
Turret destroyed.
And then you got caught by a Shatter as BAP, which is never fun. It means you're too close. It means you're not high enough. All that good stuff. It sounds so ever eliminated someone and the enemy thought that was fair. It's happened. It has. It's rare, but it does happen. It almost always has to do with it's that he's playing against another sniper, and that sniper peeks him, and they get eliminated when they were Sonic arrowed, and they go, yeah, that's fair. I shouldn't have peeked that.
Let them out.
It happened once, but it was also onset. Why would you go into melee range of the enemy around? I don't know. This BAP thinks that his weapon is actually a club, not a gun, and like he thinks that he's supposed to be close and that he needs to use his shifts, and it's just not true. Still a ranged hero. BAP pushing card here is fine. I would prefer our crosshair placement be better.
Somebody get me some
Look for enemies. Look up in the windows. Look through there. Good. You can pop up now. Okay. Right click. Cool.
Felt good when I woke
Okay.
up in the morning.
Double kill.
I mean, sorry, I probably would have liked you to mix a right click in there, but okay. And now you just like forgot about your Reinhardt completely. I know he was purple for most of that, but he wasn't by the end.
Yankee go by 2C.
I mean, it follows if you're Zen, you eat fire strikes. If you're BAP, you get melee. Maybe, maybe. Okay, I really didn't think that I was gonna have to put exhibit use rocket jumping on your list, but I'm going to have to because like you missed this one. You missed this one twice. Like you got caught by a shatter. I don't like it. I don't like it. You're missing 2 HP. 2 HP. You're okay. You are just fine.
You all
No.
look like you needed some healing.
Can live with that lamp. Weave. No, not shift. Weave. What? Okay, fine. Like, we're looking at this. That's really early for the lamp, but actually have spent his health a little bit first. Like, this was very easy to, you just did some offensive shots, do a right click. You're still going to end up throwing and deploying the lamp, but we're going to get a little deeper into it. Like, if your Reinhardt gets eliminated by this dragon, it's going to be in quite a bit. It's not going to be immediate. He has a fair amount of health. You could have thrown him another health of a right click. Like, this isn't really when we need our lamp to go up. Reinhardt still has plenty of health, and you don't want the lamp to be vulnerable until it's close to actually doing work. If you lamp your Reinhardt when he has full health, which he should right now, I see he's missing a little, but he shouldn't because you should have right-clicked him, that doesn't do much because the lamp, it's very easy to destroy the lamp before he's there. If you lamp Reinhardt when he has this much health, that's a relevant lamp. You see how that works? And I'm not saying you can't ever lamp someone when they're at full health, because there are situations where it makes sense, especially on squishier heroes, but like, no. This is something that does damage over time. This does damage ticks, this dragon. It's not like it hits him for 1,000 damage or something all at once. We can time this better. He's missing 2 HP, and his mercy heals him, and he still shifts, lol. Yeah, I know. BAPs just are bad at using their shift for some reason. And you see this in Owl too. Like, I've looked at it. I've commented on it in Owl games as well. I think when Spylo was doing his hit pieces on teams, he found one BAP that was just terrible about it, and they were an Owl BAP. And it was just like, it makes it incredibly easy to force shifts out of BAPs. It's just a skill that most of them haven't learned yet. The BAP community at large hasn't gotten good shift discipline yet. And it makes it so that you can pretty easily get their shift out of them for nothing, and then they're vulnerable to dives. And we were exploiting that by the end of it, where it was like, okay, well, since BAPs are just giving up their shifts so easily, let's kind of make the play that D.Va and Lucio in our brawl comp go dive and eliminate the other BAP, because he's given up his best tool for, not his best tool, but his primary tool for protecting himself. And then that becomes an option for you. Like, Lucio D.Va isn't exactly the strongest dive in the world, and we're talking about running a dive within your brawl. And yet, hey, if these BAPs are just going to give their shift up for no reason, it becomes a reasonable play all too often. I think he walks into the dragon himself, though. He might. That shift was okay, though.
Let them out.
So I'm just going to point this out. Your Reinhardt got lamp value for like an instant there, but just an instant. And it could have been better. It could have been later. Could have had more lamp left. Because again, we look at this. We see this. That lamp looks like it timed out. Yeah. I don't mind. I don't really mind you going down there.
60 seconds remaining.
Maybe the game should have actual values in the game when you look at the character abilities. This still isn't the game, if I'm not mistaken. That could help. That still isn't in the game. Yeah, it could help BAP shift usage if they understood how much more powerful it was for himself than for friends. Drift harder left. Drift harder left. Okay. If you called that, that's okay. No left click in there? Like, you couldn't heal your Rhine any harder. Why did we not get the left click on their Rhine? You're done. You're done. You're done. You're just chancing getting staggered. No. Worthless shift. During this ult charging, we're not charging up. It's amazing to me that we're not charging up Exo Boots right now. Like, it is amazing to me that we're not charging up Exo Boots in case we need them when this ult is going off. Like, you don't have to. You can charge up Exo Boots and then not use them. That's fine. But, like, why didn't you charge these? Now, you might have been thinking, oh no, I'm going to lamp my team and I'm going to lamp my team right here and all that. But what if your team had gone hard right or something like that? Would you have thrown your lamp right and gone with them? Like, what was the plan here? What if this dragon had been aimed poorly? Would you have still been like, oh, well, maybe I still lamp type thing? Like, no. No. If you charged your Exo Boots, oh, no problem. The dragon's coming. Maybe I'll just step over here and I'll pop myself up here and I'll contribute from above the dragon. Like, no. Again, you didn't have to use them. But why were they not charged? And you should have shifted. No. Like, there should have been an automatic shift after you took damage and were out of your lamp there, but whatever. Even in your lamp, it's worth popping the shift once you're missing health like that, and your team would have gotten value from it too. Also, if you'd had your Exo Boots charged, when Reinhardt start to get close to you, charging your Exo Boots isn't a bad idea because you can jump above him. You might be worried that McCree's and Hanzo's and Anna's are going to snipe you out of the air, and it's a fair concern, but there's a nano Reinhardt in your face, so bigger risk is him. These Masters Roadhogs are challenging to play against? Yes, yes they are. Temporal, were you more okay with shift for teammates back when it still did? Yeah, I mean, when it does more, it's a little bit better for them, and it makes a little bit more sense. Also, when that was true, BAP's Exo Boots had the less delay thing to them, so he had a little bit more self-peel without it. Still, ultimately better as a self-peel tool most of the time. It doesn't do good things to use his shift. It pulls him out of good positions to use shift to heal his teammates a lot of the time, unless he's specifically healing his partner support who's right there with him. Like, if he's healing someone who's standing with him, like if he's there and he's healing an Ashe who's standing right next to him, that can make a little more sense. But what we see constantly is that, and it's not right, mind you, especially not now, but more frequent would be like a Zen that's getting attacked type thing, and he needs to shift, or they're getting attacked and he's stuck in the middle of a reload because the enemy tracer is good and is intentionally attacking while BAP is reloading, and BAP might go, oh shoot, I have to shift type thing. Like, that would be fine, that would be different, but did I just get lost? Lost is a strong word. Lost might be the right word. That could be more okay. But what we see happen is when people think of the shift as a team healing measure, they let themselves get pulled forward. And when they get pulled forward, it becomes bigger flicks to aim their left versus right clicks. They become less aware of how much is on their screen. Something that most supports learn is they sort of want to maximize the number of allies that are on their screen because they get good information about allies when they're on their screen. If you get pulled closer as BAP, you can't see as many of your allies, and you stop being aware of, is there someone over here that needs healing? Someone over here that needs healing? Someone back there that needs healing? You don't know because you got yourself pulled forward. It's the same trick that Anna can run into where scoped healing is really nice, but you do have to go, okay, I can only be paying attention to this part of the screen for so long before I have to know what's over here, check back in on what's over here, etc. And if you walk in close, that's sort of the same as scoping. Temporal didn't need his coffee yet. Yeah, not enough of it. Not enough of it. Best support to eat Hog's peace of mind would be Zen. Best support to eat Hog's peace of mind would be Zen, right? I mean, Anna makes Hog pretty unhappy. Like, All of Hog's abilities are countered by all of Anna's abilities. Like, Hog goes for a hook and he gets slept and he's not happy about it, so he doesn't hit the follow-up. Hog goes for a hook and he gets naded, so that the person he's trying to eliminate, if they don't get eliminated, are easier to heal back up, and he gets purpled. Hog goes for breather, turns purple, it stops working. Hog goes for breather, he gets slept, it stops working. Hog goes for whole hog, he's a very easy target, it gets canceled. Like, Hog doesn't love the matchup against Anna. Flank Hog, though, he hides behind cover, peeks, hooks, goes back. Yeah, that's what he's supposed to do. That's what he's supposed to do. And it's true, Zen has a good one, too, because the Discord will stay on the Hog longer when he goes behind the cover, and it'll mess with his flanking routes or make his flanking routes a little more predictable to the Zen, at least. But, you know, Hog self-roots pretty hard when he throws hook, for example. So, yeah. I hear what you're saying, though, Adam. I mean, but no one else is really, like, better at dealing with him than Anna. That's so true about support's field of view. I'm trying to learn tank so that it's not so much lower than my support, and it's a big adjustment to try to have awareness while being in front of the team. Yep. But it's a good skill, because you'll get a bit of a sixth sense about your team while having that smaller field of view as a tank, and that sixth sense will transfer some to your support play. A bit more of an understanding of where people are without looking. I mean, you'll still want to check on them, but, hey.
Light them up.
Remaining.
No.
Regen up.
60
Light them up.
seconds remaining.
I mean, you didn't know the Hanzo was there, but I don't think I like this window anyway. It's a little too far forward. Like, obviously, you missed the Hanzo on it. It might as well just be for the back. This is a personal window for you. No one else is using this window. Here, I'll let it form. Like, you need your Reinhardt to stay in front of this window so that you get double heals on him. Your Zarya is going to be in front of this window. Your other person's way over here. Why is your window this far forward? Why is your window not further back where it's harder for the opponents to push into? Like, if no one else is going to benefit from your window, and currently they're not, bring it back. Mm-hmm.
All better. Now.
Cover, cover, find cover. I don't really want to lamp this. Like, you're just telling her that she can have your lamp for free anytime that she uses self-destruct here. Which I don't love, because your Reinhardt almost certainly has this under control, and no one's going to mess with him. The other Reinhardt isn't going to be able to pin him in time or anything like that. Like, this is just saying anytime you use your ult, I will use my ult level ability and answer, even if it's not a well-placed ult.
Get in here.
Like, I don't really have any concern about that self-destruct.
How about a little extra heal?
30 seconds remaining.
Good job, team. Let's keep it
Might
going.
have been better to have that lamp for that high noon, where you could have used it similar to how you did last time to enable someone to shoot at him while he's high nooning.
Score 0 to 3. Switching sides.
Okay, so obviously we've got some shift usage errors where we're too willing to shift our teammates. That's both pulling us out of position too close to the team fight, which we don't like. It's also... We're also too willing to use it for ourselves for, like, no HP. Like, come on, we're missing 2 HP, we're missing 12 HP, our Mercy's beam is attached to us, those sort of things. So we need to be more intentional with our shift usage. I'd like to see better control of the exhibits. I think you just need some more practice there on how high you jump with how much charge. Maybe when the patch happened that created a little bit of a delay. Maybe that messed with you or something, but you need to get a little more consistent with that because some of these jumps are interesting. It should not take you multiple tries, really.
Incoming in 30 seconds.
Then we get into this. We could get a little more into weaving, but it's mostly okay. Our window obviously was deep that we placed there. The previous one was okay. Lamps are a bit hit and miss. I know you called out your own lamps, and I'm glad that you did, but they're a little hit and miss. That said, we'll narrow this down. We're not going to give you 4 or 5 things to focus on. We'll limit it to 2 or 3. We're just going to figure out what's most important by reviewing more tape.
1.
We need a temporal bingo. That could be fun.
Stop the payload.
Sure.
Not too good at you.
Planter, planter. Ace is gonna mess with you, practicing his tracer, okay. Fine. Tuck left, tuck left. No, you're just gonna play in the open. Yeah, he was purple, sure. Please go back to the planters. I want you to go back to the planters and then yell at your Reinhardt that he can't push in there. Yeah. You just spent so much time. So much time here. He's purple. You can't heal him. He's purple. You can't heal him. And you don't want to pull yourself into this dangerous situation to try to get your shift off on him, which still can't heal him. So you're just this worried about the Tracer Hammond, which I can live with, but if you're this worried about the Tracer Hammond, pop yourself up here and play from up here a little bit to make Ace have to work his way up here annoyingly, to make Ball have to plan how to get up here a little more annoyingly. Like spend a little time up here and then drop and transition over to here type thing, and then pop up over here. Like do this. If you're like, no, I don't want to play back with cover because I'm too scared that the flankers are going to duo team up and get me, totally reasonable. But if that's the case, do a little more up here to make the staging more challenging. Do a little more here where at least you've still got cover. Don't just do in the middle here, especially before the payload was as relevant as it is. Over the payload, under the payload. He's doing neither, reporting him for throwing. There's 2 spots. Right. Yeah, high ground, exactly. Top right bingo square is okay, used after a cooldown is spent, and Temporal hates it, but he hates it less than some of the other stuff you already saw. I mean, yeah, that's going to be like 80% of the reviews. Imagine if there was a really flat hero in Overwatch 2 that could go under payloads. It's the mole hero, man. He doesn't need to be flat. He goes underground. It's the mole hero. We've been over this. Overwatch 2. Confirmed. Not confirmed.
Healing.
So we're just going to ignore the Tracer?
Fully healed.
You're shifting because you hear the Tracer and you're worried about the Tracer.
You all look like you needed
And now you're
some
going to
healing.
fight the Ana. And are you going to look for the Tracer? Okay. I can live with that. That Tracer can one-clip that Mercy very quickly. Now you want to play up here? Now that the Tracer's off the board? What are you doing? Now that the Tracer's off the board, you have the luxury of playing back here for a bit, which is a more optimal position in a lot of ways for you. When the Tracer was on the board, this looks more attractive. The like preemptive shift of D.Va should be hurting me, so I'm gonna shift. But she's not. She's not hurting you.
How about a
And you had a Mercy Beam on you. Ugh.
light them up?
Okay.
Get in here.
So now we have our window that's kind of cool, but we have our window in the open, and we have zero ability to use cover while threatening this window. Like, our best cover, I guess, is over here that we could then wander back out from. Oof. Like, is there any reason we couldn't have been up here, dropped our window, and been like, cover, window, cover, window? Wouldn't that have been great? Okay, I'll stop. I won't stop.
Is it hot in here or is it just you?
Free space in the middle is temporal size. Yeah, that's a free space.
You're fully good.
60 seconds.
I thought you needed a head. Light them
Window,
up.
good.
Fire at will.
You did not need to pull yourself into shift. You still didn't. I'm not so sure about this like aggressive push thing. Like, you lost your tank, sure. There you go. Not the shift, the Hammond coming back. Okay, you went for it. You just missed, and now you're on lockout before your next right click. That's fine. You're going to back up and play from up here, right? Like, you realize where you are, and you're going to back up and play up from up here for a moment? Yeah? Or are we too scared of the soldier? What's it going to be? That's fine. Better weaving, fine.
The payload has reached
Got it. Ready for duty.
Maintain that positive attitude.
Do you think they'll touch BAP shift once supports get a passive heal?
Get in here.
Probably.
Regen burst activated.
I couldn't tell you exactly how they'll adjust it, but they'll probably make an adjustment.
Light them up.
Why is that so deep? Like, you do this, congratulations. Why are you windowing this? Like, those guys are going to retreat so easily from your window? So easily.
Light them up.
You just took down their D.Va. And it's challenging to use this window to threaten around the corner. Like, this window sucks, man. Maybe if you'd put a window more up here, where you could threaten around the corner, and you'd, like, pushed up, then put the window here and been like, hey, we're going to tear you guys apart. You either have to run at us, through our window, or you retreat and you just get decimated in the retreat. So it forces a bad engage from them when they're down one if you put your window a little further forward. That could have made sense. But honestly, you'd have delayed that window a second. You'd have been pushing at them type thing before doing it. This is not a very good window. Where are you playing from? Please tell me it's not the middle. You're not really playing from here, right? 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 You've at the very least hopped up on top of these boxes and are hanging out up here at the very least. Maybe you've tucked yourself, you hop over the boxes and play from here. Maybe you play up here with Ashe, but surely you're not playing right here. Surely that's not what's going on. Yeah, you're definitely not playing right there. What did he need the lamp for? Like, really? What did he need the lamp for? Your whole team was healthy. Everyone was over 50% health. Everyone was really over 80% health. And your opponents had like 2 people left. Temporal. They won't. We'll never see Overwatch 2. Ah, fair enough. Please don't tell him to climb the boxes. That violates OSHA standards. OSHA standards? Yeah, yeah.
Regen up.
Okay. Jump, jump, jump!
Valkyrie is ready.
Good news is we've got another window. Let's see what we can do with it.
My ultimate is ready. Go.
Let them up.
Heroes never die. Get in there, Bob.
Is ready. Go. I'll be watching over you.
Not that, please. Not that. You're like projecting value going, I just hope that my team is going to get something done with this window that isn't really placed well for them. What? You're going to get a fire strike with this window? That's going to be the contribution of this window until you get here. No. No. Let's not do that. Let's walk up here, pop up here ourselves, use our window for ourselves, and just laugh as we mow down the enemy team and heal our Reinhardt for double. Let's do that instead, because Mercy and Reinhardt really aren't going to get value out of this window. Like, yes, a Mercy boosted Fire Trust Strike will do what? Like 260 damage or something like that? Like, yes, that'll be cool. And yeah, there is a D.Va on the other team, but she is currently not here. So like, okay, maybe they'll hit someone with it and that'll be cool. But like, no. Walk up here, personal window for yourself, mow them down. Walk up here, personal window for yourself, double heal strength your Reinhardt, shoot from here, whatever. Not, well, I'll just throw a window here and hope that it's relevant and that my team can use it. Your Reinhardt is going to like fire strike and then walk through this and then not get any benefit from it because he's got to stop the cart. Like, this is, you don't have an Ashe, a Cree, and anything sitting here to use this. Like, no. Rainbow Six started their PvE game long after Blizzard, yet it's almost done and coming out soon. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what their PvE game looks like, though, versus what Blizzard's does. I'm not saying Blizzard's is going to be fantastic, amazing, but Blizzard has had some pretty good single-player PvE type stuff in the past, and maybe it's more in the strike zone. Maybe it'll be a better fit for them. We'll see. Go.
Heroes never die.
Oh look, your window did nothing, so Mercy had to pop Velk.
Get in there, Bob.
30 seconds. Get in here.
What's this? Our BAP was playing in the open and got caught by a self-destruct? I'm shocked. Shocked, I say. You'd been playing here like a good little BAP, that wouldn't have happened. You'd have made it in plenty of time. If you'd been playing here like a good little BAP, you'd have just been like, yeah, that's not even where the self-destruct would have been aimed. Like, this was only possible because you went, no, I'm allergic to cover. Like, this is cover, I kind of like it. No, you know what, I think I'm allergic to it. It feels bad, I'm going to stand out here. No.
10 seconds.
Could have gone better. Get in here.
The payload has reached.
Will you ever hit Masters? Do I believe in you? Yeah, I do. I do believe in you. You've made improvements. Speaking of which, Spilo once said, in my professional coaching experience of greater than 1,000 reviews of all ranks, I have never reviewed someone who looked to be more than 300 SR above or below his rank. Do you agree? So, no, that take is garbage, but he elaborated on that take to make it less garbage. So, yeah, I've absolutely seen reviews where people look to be significantly above or below their rank. But the reason that that happens is you're working with human assets, you're working with people, and people have a range in which they perform. You can be looking at the game where they were Tiltmaster 9000, or you can be looking at the game where they were channeling zone energy and wild, etc., etc. So, like, that's, like, those happen, and yes, someone who is having the game of their life in the zone just does not make mistakes, playing out of their mind, is going to look more than 300 SR better than their current SR. And someone who's playing super tilted will absolutely look 300 SR worse. But once you get rid of those things, things look normal. You're not going to have like long periods of, oh my goodness, they're stuck, etc. But if you're just looking at a single game, you can absolutely be wrong about someone's SR, or someone can look like that, etc. Yeah. Where can you order your Tiltmaster 9000? So, like, if you're just looking at one game, that's not a very good take. Spilo usually has good takes. That wasn't one of them. Again, he elaborated enough to cover these sort of things, and then it's sort of like, well, I don't think it even makes sense to make the statement if you're not going to cover those sorts of things, but hey. FD God had an account stuck in Diamond. He couldn't climb out even on support. Weird. I'd want more details on that, James. I'd want to know how seriously he tried. I'd want to know if he had, like, inhibited himself from doing certain things, because that's surprising to me. The game isn't perfect in Diamond. The game isn't perfect in GM, but you do get to a situation where the game is structured enough in Diamond that it shouldn't be something where, oh my god, he is stuck there and just can't move for an extended period of time. That was from doing with this GF though. Okay. So we have a little more context now. This is my SkyMail catalog in Embody Airport for the Tiltmaster 9000. There we go. Sample size, if it's not large enough, could be bad luck. I will quote Temporal then and claim to be a 2,500 player for flexing on IRL friend. Okay. Have fun with that, Val. Okay, back to that.
Spartan. You should be at peak performance levels. You should join me.
You and me.
Just so that you're not thinking that, oh, this got better as time went on, your Reinhardt's fine. Nothing can hurt your Reinhardt right now if he chooses to put his shield up. So there is absolutely no need to rush healing on him. You can calmly weave, and you can do this with 0 shifts. You do not need to shift. You have full health. Your Reinhardt eliminated the other Reinhardt. He's not going to take damage through his shield from this Ashe. You could throw TNT over it. You'd easily out-heal that. You're good. We can just heal this up with right clicks. And look, we have 9 right clicks before our next reload. Easy peasy. Ah!
You and me, brother.
Did not need this. Did not need this remotely.
Regen up.
You also don't need to be chaining right clicks on him. You can go back to weaving. I don't know why you just did 3 right clicks in a row when your Reinhardt can put his full health shield up and not take damage. Like, you're not going to lose your Reinhardt here. They lost their ability to do damage through your shield. Their Reinhardt is eliminated. They don't have a Brig. They don't have a Winston. Their Echo, who would potentially go around, is way in the back right now. The only person that's maybe going to walk through the shield is Baby D.Va. And if Baby D.Va walks through the shield, well, okay, at that point you can right-click harder. I mean, either you can eliminate the Baby D.Va or you can right-click harder while Reinhardt swings. But, like, this is... We're not worried about him, so you can go for a max damage... Not like a max damage pattern where you actually cut out healing, but you can go for a 2-to-1 or even a 3-to-1 damage to heal ratio and be totally valid in that right now. FD God should use the looking for group tool to look for a better girlfriend. Oh, I'm not sure he'll find one in the looking for group tool. Let me come back to that FD or Nardstorm. Remind me.
60 seconds.
Ashe has the right position. Ashe, take Ashe's spot. Take Ashe's spot. Go right. Go right. Stop playing here. The cart is not your cover. High grounds can be your cover. High ground can be your cover. The cart is not your cover. Go over here. Go over here if you have to. I prefer you over here. Please. Please. And again, in case you're worried, like, they don't have a tracer ball combination anymore. That's long gone. That's long gone. You can separate a bit further from your team. You don't have to play in the open here. Okay.
Healing.
Shifting for giggles.
Let them up.
Sure. I can live with this window. I can live with this window just great. As long as the next thing you do is step over to, say, here and threaten through it. It's not an amazing window. The opposing team hasn't pushed hard enough to justify the window, but at least you're in a position where you can use it and your Ashe gets some value out of it, sort of.
Adaptive circuit engaged. Baptiste.
Yeah, we really wanted the opposing team. I suppose I should comment more on this window because your windows haven't been great, so you might be missing how to do them in general.
Let them up.
Like, the opposing Rein's Nano is over. Maybe you were thinking this is your answer to Nano, but you were way too deep into the Nano to be putting down the window. And even though his team should have advanced, his team really didn't advance. So, like, his team wasn't actually in enough. You sort of want to window in such a way where the opposing team is starting to rotate in, starting to leave their cover, they've left their cover, and then you window. And then in that first second or two, before they're able to either get back to their cover or do the 3 or 4 seconds that it'll take to continue to advance, you just delete them. That's what you're looking for. Here, it was a little too easy for them to retreat. I do understand there was the Nano going, so you thought they'd be committing harder, but it was the very end of the Nano.
Adaptive circuit engaged. Baptiste.
It was better than many of the windows we've seen, though. I'll grant you that.
Make it go by 50.
EMP activated.
No fear playing in front of that window. Okay. If they turn this fight,
Make it go by 50.
EMP
activated.
okay. Cool. You know where you could go? You know where you could go if you want to take these guys down?
Get them the immortality.
Not here. Not here.
Immortality bubbles down.
Still not here. Oh, you see the bullets coming from the left? Cool. Let's tuck back over here and let's shoot with our cart as cover. Let's do that for starters. But honestly, we could have just stayed here and shot things on the ground, quite happily stayed here and shot things on the ground, and then when they started to get up, we could have popped ourselves up here and gone and done this, and gone and done this. And that would have been simply better than what you did. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, you found yourself face to face with a soldier in the front line. You know that's wrong. You know you made a series of poor decisions to be in a situation where that could happen.
10 seconds remaining.
Heroes never die.
We jumped over the shatter. Roll my eyes at shift. Cover.
Team kill. Victory.
Of course, if I rewind, I'll end up in a place where it's true. This is not a good place to stand. You can stand here. You could stand here. You could stand here. This is less good, but you could do it. This is not a good place to stand. Stop it. I'm somewhat accepting of pulling yourself in towards your team a little bit when the opponents are running powerful dive combinations like Tracer Ball. It's not actually the best thing in the world to do. You're better off pre-poking them and not letting them rotate and things like that. But I understand it. It's ladder. It's challenging. I can understand it. This, however, right here, is just not right. It's just not. So please stop it. Now, you could be here, and you could be going, hey, I think my Reinhardt is going to push in and then around the corner, so I need to be rotating forward. And if this was just a freeze frame, if you're rotating forward because you expect that your Reinhardt is rotating forward hard, and you can read the situation that the fight is going to actually end up taking place right over here, sure, that's going to happen. And that's an essential skill for BAPs, for Annas, for supports, to figure out where's the fight going to happen. Do I need to be mobile on my feet moving so that I don't get caught back here when the fight's taking out over here and it takes me 4 seconds to go support the fight? That's an essential skill, but that's not what's going on here. Your Ashe is positioned right here. The fight is not happening over here. Your ball is already deployed here. The fight is happening right in here. This is the fight. If you started winning the fight hard, you might go forward because you'd go forward to adjust so that you're here so you can maybe heal around the corner, or so that you're here in the high ground so that you can heal around the corner. But that's how this works. And you're doing way too much of this standing out in the open thing. And you're not always getting punished for it. You're not always getting punished for it as hard as you should. The self-destruct was a good example of you getting punished for it. But you got to fix this because this will hold you back. You will run into better poke DPS who punish you for standing in the open, that sort of thing. So let's fix that. That's going to be your first thing. Your second thing is going to be your shifts. Your shifts, we've covered this a lot. Shifts are good for healing yourself when you're under pressure. They let you then reopen angles faster. They let you be less concerned about a single diver coming after you. They're pretty darn good for you. And they're pretty darn mediocre at best for your team. If you're going to shift to heal your team, you better be getting multiple of them with it. And it better be in a time when it made sense for you to be standing with your team anyways. Which is like, oh, hey, we're rotating. We're taking damage. We expect to take more damage. I want to be with them because we're rotating as a core type thing. That's pretty much going to be it. You do not want to walk forward to shift people very often. There's the very, very, very rare chance where it will make the difference and it will be the healing, etc. I promise you it's very, 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 very rare, and it's basically not worth doing. You are putting yourself in danger. You are missing opportunities to do things on the left or right way more often than you're actually getting value out of it. Like, if you just never do it, you won't be wrong. If you do it thinking, oh no, sometimes this will be right, you'll be wrong way more often than you'll be right. So don't do that. And then you wanted to tell, you've had an issue with lamps, and it's true, you do have a bit of an issue with lamps, but I actually wouldn't worry about that as much as I'd worry about your windows. You need to think about these windows more. You need to understand how to get value out of window, and window is a very complicated ult in a lot of ways. Like, it's conceptually sort of simple. Okay, damage goes through it, it gets multiplied. Hey, that's pretty cool. But in terms of how and when to use it, when it comes to window, there's a few principles to think of. One principle that we want to think of is we want to use our window as the opposing team is starting to rotate in. So they've committed to the rotation, and now they've got a rotation without cover that they have to go through, or they retreat. If they retreat, we've got a decent chance, as long as we gave them a second or so into the rotation, of immediately eliminating one or two of them. And even if they do get out, they then have to wait out the window. So at least we got something. That's not a great outcome. If they try to push through it, they just get destroyed. That's the sort of thing. So like a long rotation like this one right here that the opponents have to go through is actually perfect for windows. This is exactly the type of place that you're looking to window. Other principles we think about with our window. Is this window for you personally, you? And when I say you, it's still helping your Reinhardt, for example, because you get to heal him for double. If so, keep it pretty close to you. Now, really, you should be back here, and it would be back more like here. That's fine. If it's for more than you, that's fine too. It can be for more than you, but someone has to be close for it to make sense to be for more than you. So, like, you could be like, hey, I'm doing this window for Ashe and myself. Fine. I'm okay with that. That's perfectly fine. But if there's no Ashe up here, we wouldn't put our window up here. We'd put our window back here. And then another principle we're going to get into is how many lanes are we threatening with this window. So a good example of that would be you could drop a window like this, like we talked about, but let's put you in better positioning. Let's put you in better positioning over here, and then let's drop a window across like this. And now, with this window, I can threaten this lane, I can threaten this lane, and I can threaten this lane, and I can threaten this lane. You see how much better of a window that is? It's the same size window, but you see how much better of a window that is, where we can threaten all of the lanes that we want to. We aren't getting crushed by like 6 different directions at once, but we're able to go, hey, I can use this to threaten multiple lanes if I have to. And that's something that you have to think about. And sometimes that does mean you're doing things like wasting, quote unquote, some of your window's geometry on this. Look, shooting through this part of the window won't do any damage, so you're wasting geometry. But not really, because really what you're doing is you're giving yourself access to this lane, and this lane, and that lane, and that lane type thing. So like you want to think a little bit more. So again, I can't tell you, oh, this is how you always get the perfect window every time, but the principles I'm going to give you, because your windows need some work, are going to be try to drop windows sort of just after the opponents start to commit to a rotation. Try to understand whether your window is for you or you and teammates. If it's for just you, just drop it at your feet. Don't send it way in front of you. And also try to have your windows threaten multiple lanes. That's what I'm going to say. That's what we're going to look for your windows. So I've now given you 3 things to work on. Please work through these one at a time, preferably in the order I gave you. Windows might get you more value than shift, but windows will be harder to implement than shift. So please work on these 3 things one at a time with like 5 to 15% of your brain power. And what we want to do is we just want to level them up. We want to sort of be focused on them while you're playing your competitive game with like 5 to 15% of your brain power, and then that should help lock it in, make it part of your habits. You want to build it in as a habit, get it into your autopilot, and then once you feel it sort of locked in there, maybe that takes 5 games, maybe that takes 30 games, whatever, then you move on to working on the next thing. And we're just building blocks. We're just doing our little building blocks, a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better, at one skill at a time. And that's what we're going to do here. So I hope that made sense. If you or anyone else has questions, you can throw them up in chat now. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, as that helps out quite a bit, and I really do appreciate it. Or if you are looking to get coaching yourself, you can join my Discord in the description below. See what rates look like, see what sort of promos, special events we have going on, all of that good stuff. Okay. I think he's doing it to get them in shift range. Yeah, there's a lot of being pulled out of position to get into shift range, which is why they are tied together issues. And sometimes fixing one mostly fixes the other. But yeah. Is this high or low Masters? 3,800. He is 3,800. You doing another review? I might have another one. I think I have time for another review right now. Let me take a look. What's that from? What's that ping from? That's someone trying to schedule a scrim. That's fine. And calendar. Yep, I can do another one right now if you like. Okay. What do you think the Cowboys hero name should be? Who knows? Who knows? Your question from earlier about getting tense. Thank you. Nordstorm says, Temporal, I have a problem with my elbow. A problem where my elbow hurts after a while because I get too tense during tough parts of the game. The times I need to focus on not being tense are when I have no attention to spare. Any ideas how to fix that? To elaborate, I'm essentially keeping my forearm hard pressed against my desk for an extended period of time. Okay. You can mess with height a little bit. You can mess with height a little bit to make it so that your elbow, there's less downward pressure on your elbow. Like the further you are below your desk, the more pressure that's going to put sort of on your forearm, which is probably resting on the desk a little bit, and that might be causing some of it. But in terms of having attention to spare for your elbow, that's a tough one. You're really just going to have to make the exception and do it. And by make the exception, do it, I mean like I get that it's when you're tense, etc., but you're just going to have to recognize that it's happening when you're tense and not do it and calm yourself down. Like you're gonna have to focus more on your elbow. So like, okay, instead of having 100% brain power available, you only have 95% brain power available because you go, no, elbow, elbow, elbow. Like I know that's hard to do, but you just need to remind yourself, I'm getting tense. And you need to remind yourself that more often so that you can intentionally release it, etc. The only other stuff you can do is ergonomic type stuff, raise your height relative to your desk's height, that sort of thing. But that doesn't sound like it's really the issue. It sounds like it's a you get tense issue. And you're just going to have to mentally try to solve that and be like, nope, when I get tense, I have to spare the brain power. I get that you're getting tense because you don't have the brain power, because you're concentrating, because you're in a duel for your life, because it's the last 30 seconds of the match, whatever, but you're going to have to go no elbow. Yeah, sorry. There's not some secret answer I have for that. What's wrong with his girlfriend? Not good enough at Overwatch. That's a red flag. Definitely a red flag. I'm amazed at how many mistakes I'm seeing that are the same ones that I make. Happens sometimes. Did Temporal answer the question on what rank this looked like? This looked like? I mean, I responded to the take that Mercedes posted that Spilo had. I don't think I saw a question about what rank does this look like. Christian Garcia says, I can't climb out of gold. Whatever I do on Xbox, main tank, because people don't group up, don't heal, don't eliminate anymore. Any tips? I was two games close to plat, then I started to lose SR like a maniac. Stop focusing on the thresholds. Stop focusing on the thresholds. You're probably psyching yourself up as you get close to that threshold because you so desperately want to hit the next threshold plat there, and that's fine. I understand why that would be the case. But it's not. And what I mean by that is you don't want to like hit plat and then just be like, yes, I hit plat and now I'm safe, because you're not safe when you hit plat. You need to overshoot anyways, because otherwise you'll be in danger of falling back into gold. You need to overshoot anyways. So it's not about getting good enough to hit hit plat just barely. It's, hey, let's keep improving until you're comfortably in the middle of plat type thing. So it doesn't matter, since our goal isn't really to hit plat, it's to comfortably get into the middle of plat. Since that's our goal, there's very little pressure on us when it's a promotion game between gold and plat, because that's meaningless to us. That's not real. We know that we could lose the next 2 games and be back in gold. Like, that doesn't matter. So that should help remove some of the pressure from you. In terms of actually improving good enough to stay float comfortably mid-plat, well, what you've said here is your people don't group up. Well, grouping up can be an illusion. I can be perfectly grouped up. Let me go here as an example. There's people here. That complicates it. Let's go here. Let's say I'm the attacking Reinhardt, because you said you play tank. Your main tank. Let's say you're the attacking Reinhardt, and you're right here. Cool. Well, you have a Tracer standing over here, and a Soldier standing over here, and maybe a BAP standing back here. And I don't know, your D.Va is standing... No, you don't have a D.Va. That'd be too easy. Your ball is standing over here. Or better yet, your ball is back over here. Your team's not grouped up. What are you ever going to do? Your team's ready. Your team is perfectly ready right now for you to engage. So there's something to be said for, you do need to recognize that grouping up does not necessarily mean everyone stacks right here. It means people are prepared to engage into the fight. They're in places where they can enter the fight, enter the fight, enter the fight within about a second if you start the fight. So that's the first thing that I'm going to say. They may be grouped up, they may be prepared when they're not stacked on top of each other, and you may not be realizing it. The second thing that you're going to run into is if they never group up, well, if one person isn't going on the team's tempo, that's fine. You can match someone else going first. Even though you're the main tank and you're supposed to do the initiation, in a lot of situations, if you have a Reaper that is just coming back and walking in and getting eliminated, and coming back and walking in and getting eliminated, and coming back and walking in and getting eliminated, as long as you can play around his tempo and the rest of his your team plays around his tempo, that's fine. His getting eliminated or not is now just the tempo that you guys are playing around. So you go, okay, we'll go in as he goes in. Oh, he's walking back, he's walking back, he's walking back, he's here. The rest of us are ready for that. Now I'm going to go and he's going to go with me. Or he goes and he's going to be the distraction and I'm going to be the follow-up that goes in right after he does. So that sort of thing. In terms of not enough heals, I can guarantee you're taking too much damage. If you looked at how little damage higher level tanks took while staging, while setting up, while rotating, you'd almost certainly be surprised. Yeah. Okay. I honestly thought this looked like high plat or diamond. I mean, some of that is going to be because the opponents are better. I was surprised at how bad the positioning was in some stuff, and it wasn't like this was the most amazing game ever, but like, I'm pretty sure this is ace. Like, it's possible that we've been trolled and maybe this is a plat game and maybe someone just named themselves after Ace, but like, Ace of Spades is a recognizable, frequently contender, well, is a recognizable, sometimes contenders player. Now, he's known for his main tank play, and he's definitely playing DPS here, but that's not unusual, that a player that's known for their main tank play is now practicing tracking heroes because they've spent some time on ball, and now they're going, hey, Tracer and Soldier. So, like, this, this Ace of Spades isn't going to be in plat, if that helps you guys. It didn't look like great play that we were seeing here in general, though. I agree. On the other hand, the weaving was better than we'd usually see in plat, just as a quick example. Yeah. If this was an episode of Guess My SR, what would your SR be? That started at plat, but ended with gold after the D.Va bomb and awful window placements. The window placements were pretty bad, but I've seen bad window placements in Masters before, and I've seen terrible shift usage in Masters before as well. The positioning was alarming for Masters, I'll agree. Let's not do Guess My SR. I'm not sure that people who are reviewed really want that. Yeah, that's fair. SR and happiness are inversely related. Okay. Baron Junk wants you to stack in a small huddle. That Reaper's you. Okay. You also Wraithen get eliminated and reposition and get eliminated. Okay, that's going to do it. I will head into another one after this. Mercedes, if you're going to send me one, that's fine. Otherwise, I'll just grab another one. But I will see you all shortly. Thanks, guys. Temporal out.